Quarter woman suing Mayor Cantrell added Jeffrey Vappie to her lawsuit. Anne Breaud's lawyers want to add Vappie, who worked on Cantrell's security team, as a defendant. Anne Breaud alleges the mayor used her position to find Breaud's private information like her social security number. Cantrell used that information while seeking a restraining order against Breaud after Breaud took a picture of Cantrell and her former NOPD security guard. Vappie dining in the quarter. Fox 8 legal analyst Joe Raspanti joins us this morning with his take on the case. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
All right, so I guess let's start from the beginning. Why did Anne Breaud's attorney add Jeffrey Vappie to the case?
Well, I think a couple of reasons, but I think the main one is, well, it's another pocket, another deep pocket, and whether or not he has more resources than the mayor, it'll be seen, but also because he's as a defendant in a civil case. If you're a defendant in a criminal case, it's to say you have no penalties for taking the Fifth Amendment. That's your right. In a civil case, what you have is a penalty if you take it. And if he was just called as a witness, he could just say, I'm taking the Fifth. But now that he is a defendant, he will have to testify or be penalized for not testifying.
Right. All right. So at this point, are the mayor, Vappie, are they going to try and fight the addition of Vappie to this case? Is that something they can do? Oh,
they can certainly do it. And a lot of times, I think there's a 5-pronged test. And in reviewing, they're alleging that none of that applies to them. And I kind of agree with them. I think that, you know, usually you're allowed eventually to add someone like this. The thing that would stop it sometimes is if the defendant says, we're going to be harmed, we're not ready, it changes things, we need more time. But that kind of goes by the wayside because remember, because of the criminal case, they're already asked to have the civil case stayed. So they're already asking for the continuance, which will almost certainly be granted, it almost has to be. So I think he's going to be successfully added to this case, and you know, they're going to have to go forward that way.
All right, well then, what I guess is the plaintiff's original reason to add Vappie in there, and then also how is the indictment given them, I guess, the firepower to add him to it?
Right, well that is the reason. When I think they knew, they kind of knew but maybe couldn't prove it per se. Once a federal U.S. Attorney's Office alleges these things on one of the counts, it basically alleges that Vappie and her went into city records, got information that they weren't supposed to, which is a criminal violation, but it was also something that she is alleging. And believe me, if that criminal case goes first and they get convicted of that, you don't have to prove it anymore in your civil case because the burden of proof in criminal cases is a lot more than a civil case. So they're going to benefit from that, and their position is, hey, we just learned this with specificity from reading the indictment. So that's why we're adding him now. So it's going to be lots of fun. It's going to take a while, but I think he's going to get added, and that criminal case is going to go first.
All right, so we'll continue following this, see what happens there. As you know, a lot of developments here, a lot of things could affect other players in this situation, so we'll keep a close eye on it. Thanks for your input.